Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am sitting in my car, obviously in the parking lot at my apartment complex. And I just got back from the post office dropping off some packages, and now I'm trying to get motivated to work because I didn't work at all yesterday. I felt like shit after going out because I blamed it on just, being up and until 3 a.m. I didn't get home until 3 a.m. Derek and I got to the bar. No, he picked me up at 7 and he dropped me off at 3. That's 8 hours. I was out for 8 hours. Yay, me. So I couldn't work at all yesterday, and I did a video that took me all day. That also took 8 hours from when I started to when I published it. How ironic. And so I just didn't get a lot of stuff done that I needed to do. And I feel the same today. And again, it's because I didn't sleep good last night. And that's my own fault. I go to bed fairly early because I just want to relax and look at stuff, because I don't ever have the TV on at all during the day. I go days without turning it on at all. I used to turn it on every day when I had lunch, but lately I don't even care to do that. It's like I don't want to be involved in something. I just want to eat and get back to work. I don't know what's going on in the world at all. Not at all. And I kind of like that. But I go to bed and I turn my iPad on, and then it's TikTok and YouTube. So I do all that stuff, and it keeps me awake. And I fell asleep at around 1 is the last time that I remember seeing. And then I was awake at 4, never could fall back to sleep. That is the worst, that period where you wake up and you want to sleep because it's going to ruin your day if you don't. And I couldn't, so I got up at 7. So I gotta get up and just do shit. So I feel actually a little bit better right now. This morning it was rough, and I was supposed to do a video for the quilt blocks. I have the next 2 designed, but I don't feel like doing that. My head doesn't feel right to cut fabric and sew a straight line. I don't want to be involved in that. So I thought I would do this for a video. I will try to cut my pieces and record that tomorrow. Or if I feel better, I could record it tonight and just upload it tomorrow. Just trying to plan my week as to what I want to do for videos. Oh, speaking of videos, if you watched my video yesterday about my night out, do go watch that. And I'll link to it down below, and I'll stick it on the end screen at the end of this video. I mentioned there about Derek, helping me move here and stuff like that. And I realize now that there's, quite a few new subscribers to Derek's channel that really know nothing about that and how awesome he was to help us move. So when I say he helped us move, he obviously wasn't in Maine. So that noise means nothing. He wasn't in Maine, but I did have Skylar for 2 or 3 weeks, and Derek came for like a week. He flew in to drop her off, and then he went back. I didn't do the flights this time, did I? I think he did. And then we picked him up, and he spent the last week with Skylar. So Skylar helped me a lot for the time that she was here. And then when he came, we had a lot of stuff ready that would need to be taken down from the upstairs and brought to Goodwill or to the dump or whatever. So that's what Skylar and I did. We just got a whole bunch of stuff ready. We did make dump runs, and we did go to Goodwill, the 2 of us, a few times. And then Derek really helped. He helped in the cellar. That's right. We cleared out a lot of the cellar. But then when they went back, the next thing was that we ended up having to fly my mother to Mississippi because she was now a hospice patient. She was deemed hospice ready just before we were ready to go. I had everything, all the things booked, and I wasn't flying. Derek and I was supposed to be driving my car, so everything just fell apart, and I had to rethink the whole thing. So I ended up having my furniture moved. Instead of what we were initially going to do was rent these trailers or whatever, I believe, I don't really remember, have that packed, and that was going to be taken to the new place, and then Derek and I were going to drive my car, and Skylar too. But now we had to have the furniture moved, and that was the beginning of a very big issue that I will be talking about at some point in the future. Long story short with that, I was made many promises about, that we were going to get our furniture early because my mother was a hospice patient and she needed her stuff. And we waited almost a month, and, they just washed their hands of that promise that they made. And, I had no choice. Last minute, I had to have movers, and so I ended up going with them. But they did make a lot of promises that they didn't keep. So we stayed with Derek. But so Derek, I flew Derek and Skylar in to help me to transport my mother. And Derek has a whole video on that, explaining what that was like for him. He's the one that had to help pick her up, and he was so worried about her just not being able to survive that trip. And I was like, Derek, she's in hospice care, and the hospice said, you do whatever you have to do. Hospice is so awesome. They're like, she's stable, but they put a catheter, so we didn't have to worry about that. They hardly fed her the day before and that day, so there wouldn't be issues of us having to take her to the bathroom at all. And she was in respite. They put her in a respite facility for hospice for 5 days so I could finalize this move without having to take care of my mother at the same time. So when Derek and Skylar came, my mother wasn't home. She was at that hospice house, and we picked her up from there and took her to the airport. I left that house. It was just me, Derek, and Skylar, and I couldn't believe I was not ever going back to that house. So Derek explains that whole, it was like a 12-hour thing from when we left the house until we got to his apartment, and we even had a layover with my mother. It was like, oh my God. But yeah, hospice was good, and they were like, take her. What's the worst that can happen? She dies. We know she's near death. So we took her, and she made it like a trooper. But Derek was so afraid some stuff was going to go wrong with my mother. I was afraid stuff was going to go wrong with the flights. I was like, if we are delayed and we miss our layover, I just couldn't get past that. When we landed in Mississippi, I was like, it was in Memphis. I was like, okay, we accomplished that. We can get through anything at this point. And yeah, we had to get through a lot staying at Derek's for a month because my mother was on high narcissistic mode. It was just, it was long. I can't believe it. We displaced Derek. He just, yeah, it was stressful for all of us. And Derek knows my mother. Derek was raised with her until he was like 11 or 12 when we got an apartment. And so he knows what I've gone through with her. He's gone through a lot with her. He's gone through a lot with me. I wasn't a Class A mom. I was busy at the bars drinking as he was growing up. Left him with my mother, who was problematic, to say the least. So, but that's all in the past, right? So I just wanted to fill in new people who probably don't know all that we went through that October 31st Halloween night to get my mother here to Mississippi. And but I'm here now, and I'm absolutely happy. I'm happy. I didn't think that would be possible, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be going out. I'm thrilled with the new way that I'm eating. I will have an update for that maybe beginning of February. And I love that I cut back on my fabric business. It's giving me more time to do things. And I have no complaints at this moment in time. The whole purpose of this video was to send you to Derek's channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link some of the videos that he did. He did some that I asked him to do for me that I never even watched. And I know one of them was about the moving company. I was so stressed over the fact that we didn't know when we were going to get furniture. I mean, it was the worst thing I've ever gone through to know that somebody has everything that you're bringing with you, and they well, when we can, and this and that, it's in a warehouse, and it wasn't in a warehouse. And this stuff was damaged and beyond repair. My washer and dryer damaged, and just it was awful. It was awful. And so when the furniture finally came, and then I realized how much more shit I had to go through because of all that they did to my furniture, I asked him to do the video for that because I couldn't even talk about it. And then there was a couple of other videos. I think the one when she died, I had him do the video. I didn't want to talk about it, and so he did that. And I've never watched those two videos, so I don't know what he said. I will never know. I don't think I will ever watch those. I asked him to put it out there, let everybody know, and he was nice enough to do that. So I'll just link to some of those videos if you want to get caught up on Derek, and I'll also link to the one about him drinking. I don't know if that's a series or not, about how he quit drinking. That one about him quitting is like always in his top 10 videos. It keeps getting views, so he feels good about that because he's hoping that he's able to help people. Of course, it could be just people that are curious and want to know. But I'll link to a bunch of his stuff. And, or you know what you can do too? You can always just go to his channel and look at his playlists. And they're all broken down. He's got all kinds of stuff. I don't know if there's one for the move to Mississippi. So I'll link to those videos. Okay, I have to stop talking. I always say that. And I never stop. What is that guy doing? Why do I have to have a man outside covering a lawnmower? I'm so easily irritated. All right, you guys, I'm going to hang up now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.